So, welcome back everybody, let's have a look. Sorry I've not been around for the last few days, but you got to take the kids away sometimes, There is other things in the world outside of cryptocurrency, but, saying that, the cryptocurrency market never sleeps. And at the moment, it would appear that, just from the vibe I get on Twitter and even on my own Telegram, I don't know what other YouTube channels are saying, because I just don't watch them. But it would appear that the world is coming to an end. Bitcoin is not going up like it always does, and maybe the dream of the financial world collapsing and Bitcoin taking over and blockchain being the future that basically ends up destroying everything that you and I have ever known and creating a utopia of just blockchains. Or whatever you've been, whatever dream people have been sold. Yes, blockchain is good, and yeah, Bitcoin has a future. And what we're looking at here is a marketplace, and all of those things that you've probably been sold may still completely be relevant and true. Doesn't stop the marketplace from being what it is, which is a highly volatile place. Markets are volatile anyway. You look at the forex; it's all over the place. You look at commodities; they're all over the place. Look at oil, for example. Oil was all over the place last year. Ridiculously volatile, and that's just oil. We're talking about cryptocurrency here. We're talking about madness. We're talking about pure, absolute, unregulated madness. And so, of course, with everything that goes up, things do come down. And what we're seeing now is I would say, is a very healthy retracement, downtrend. Bear market? Well, not for me, not quite yet. There's a few precursors before we decide that it's a bear market. And if it is a bear market, there's for me, bear markets can be pretty exciting. You can trade bear markets, you can short them, you can do all kinds of things, but the best thing you can do is wait for them to bottom out. That's where the true opportunities come out. So I'm not talking about this video like it is a bear market. It's not. This is very much the same analysis that I applied on the last video and probably the last few videos prior to that. Is that until we find a bottom, we are going to be ranging, maybe even accumulating within this range, essentially from about 33,000 to maybe even as high as 50,000. And that might sound madness. You might be thinking, well, that's about a 90% range you're talking about there, mate. 90% range, accumulation in 90% range. And I'd say, definitely. If you've watched my channel, you'll have recognised that I like to buy things in accumulation ranges. Did it with XRP, did it with EOS, did it with Holochain, did it with FET, did it with Seller, did it with many things. And looking at EOS for an example, I was accumulating that. We spotted a clear accumulation range from as low as $2.20 to as high as about $3.90. Right, that was an accumulation range of much bigger than the one we're talking about here with Bitcoin. Pretty big stuff. Actually, thinking about it, it's about the same. It's about the same range. It's basically about 100% range, give or take. If we look at XRP, I was accumulating that from about 17 cents to about 27 cents. So again, pretty big range. Maybe not 100%, but close to it. So when you find an accumulation range, and I'm not saying that the accumulation range is going to be from exactly let's just say 28,000 to maybe 50,000. There'll be a clearer accumulation range once it takes place, but until we get that range specifically I suppose proven to us by the fact that we have hit a low, then we can determine the range. So for the moment, nothing's set in stone, definitely not. And I actually feel as though the best thing that could happen to Bitcoin at this very moment in time is to close a candle lower than these candles that we've got already. Maybe even close a candle on 33,000, or maybe even below. that would definitely scare a lot of people out. Judging by the way that the RSI looks, it could print a nice form of bullish divergence on the RSI. That would lead us to a decent bounce. And actually, historically, if we have a look at the way that Bitcoin's moved in the past, around the 50 exponential moving average on the weekly, which is where we are at currently right now, we've historically had really big bounces from there. Whether it's in a bull market or a bear market, we've had big bounces. So bull market breakdown, 80%, massive move up. The bubble pop breakdown, this was about 100% move. Another one was about 60-70% move, all the way up to the next bubble pop moment over here. Breakdown, 100% move. Breakdown, 60% move. This is a very decent area to catch a bounce from. So, thinking about where this comes in at, roughly, it's about 33,000. If we think about where this could potentially print a lower low here and a higher low on the RSI, it gives me the idea that perhaps we are going to be looking for one of those big bounces. But that's all it would be for the moment, a big bounce which might actually be big enough to start a potential uptrend over the next weeks, months. I'm talking prolonged period of time. Accumulations are really frustrating areas to be in, because there's just as much fun for a bull as there is as a bear, and just when you think one has the upper hand, the other one comes in and goes, no, my turn next, it's my turn now. And what that eventually does is we see all these moving averages here that are clearly in a downtrend. They'll start to level out, and then at that point, really the bulls and the bears have really got not really much, to give them the edge. Everything is basically going sideways, which is a true accumulation zone, and that's why I'm saying we can speculate that this is an accumulation zone now. We can speculate that is the case, but until we prove that there is a bottom and these moving averages start to cool off and calm down again and go kind of sideways, it's just going to be very choppy and crazy. And some people say we're in a bull market, some people say in a bear market. I think the most reasonable thing to say is that what we're doing is we're clearly in a downtrend. We haven't yet printed a low, and until we do that, we're neither in a bull market nor a bear market. We are in a downtrend in a macro bull market still. So the large scale picture is that we are still in a bull market, but yeah, we are pulling back to a large extent. So I'm not here to give any calls or anything like that. I never have done, and it's never been the case. So we've made some epic trades on here. All of that is in the past for people to view. But one of the best ways to trade is to accept that when there is no edge, there is no trade. And if you believe in the asset, and again, it's one of the things I often say, and it's nothing I coined. It's when in doubt, zoom out. The bigger picture tells you that the main variable in any equation to do with Bitcoin is time. Okay, so we can go all the way up, we can go all the way down, we can go all the way up, we can go all the way down, all the way down, all the way up, down, all the way up, down, all the way up, down, and maybe down further. The main equation that we really need to hold on to is time, and in that respect, time is the greatest healer. And if we believe in the true value of Bitcoin, this is going to work out in the long run. And again, any hodler that's ever hodled, apart from the ones that joined the market, the last month, has made money. And if we think about what's going on right now, we could be entering into a bear market, but again, none of that is actually confirmed. But if we think about where we are right now in comparison to the top, we're talking about a half-price Bitcoin. It's a buy one get one free. It doesn't mean that you can't go another month from now and say buy one get two free, or so on and so on and so on. But again, when things go down, they offer opportunities. When things go up, they do obviously have clearer, more distinct opportunities to make faster profit if you're on the right side and get the right entry point. Instantly gratifying, basically. But I think the problem that a lot of people have is that they've not really been in the market for very long. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's new to the market at some point, and this is all part and parcel of the way that the market moves. It goes up and it goes down. Moves up massively, goes down massively, and the thing that makes it worse is when it does go down, it often goes down a lot faster. And this is why it's so attractive to become a bear. Bears, I can understand where they get their kicks from, is because all the money that it takes, all the profits that get made in a bull market can be made way faster in a downtrend. Because if we think about what happened here, so this just these last 2-3 weeks, really, a 50% move. And some of these, some of these candles printed over a 24-hour period. So, I can understand the fear that sets in on some people when they see these sort of moves. But to me, it's really no big deal. It's all part of it. So again, looking at this chart with fresh eyes, because I'm back from my little break that I've had. I'm looking at it thinking, okay, our lower low now is actually okay. This is every time we make a lower low, it could be potentially the area for a bottom. And if there is going to be a bottom forming on this next lowest candle body close, even if it's all the way down to the bottom of this Bollinger Band, we're talking 29,000, and I would be very hopeful for a bounce at least all the way up to the 200 exponential. So I would be anticipating another big sell-off, perhaps down to around between the lower low here, the center, the bottom of this Bollinger Band, to maybe this marked off area where we had launch pad, support. If we came down to 28 to 29,000 and then found a really decent bounce up to the 200 exponential, that in itself is about a 42% move, which I think could happen quite quickly. Then what could at that point happen is an uptrend form from there, as this would maybe be considered the low, and I've had this area marked off for a little while now, saying that this could potentially be the low. And if we enter into a bear market, yeah, we got 20,000 obviously, but my actual targets would be about 16,000. But again, I'm not talking bear markets yet. Bear markets don't technically count for me until we've broken down below this 50 exponential moving average on the weekly and prove that we get a rejection from it, and we're not there yet. And obviously I'm talking my target is 28,000, which is lower than this candle wick here, but provided the weekly candle body doesn't get rejected from this, and this moving average doesn't prove to be a rejection zone, I'm very hopeful that we will continue with this all the way up to a new all-time high throughout the rest of this year at some point. And anything around here to here is definitely buying opportunities, but I would be targeting, if we do get rejections from this, I would be targeting areas much further down towards the 200 exponential, which is currently at around 15,600, but will still continue to move up every week as we are above it, and this will slowly but surely snake its way up. This is going to be, if we do go into a bear market, this area here, whether we're above it or below it, but generally thereabouts, is going to be the accumulation zone for the next big bull run. The next big bull run. The market, the bull market, the bull run of the market bull run, whether it takes a year, 6 months, 3 years, or whatever, this might be the lowest you'll ever get to buy a Bitcoin again. But for the moment, I'm okay with what I'm seeing, so I'm not particularly concerned, and I've been saying this for a little while. Everything seems okay to me, and I welcome a downtrend. I welcome it. Now, another thing that I've been saying, and again, we're going to do the live stream tonight. We would normally do it on Friday, but for the Patreon live stream is tonight. And I've been saying this, I suppose, like a broken record over and over again. But the way that this Bitcoin dominance chart has looked is that, yeah, it's been great. It's been such a good time for us, and a good time for altcoins. But the further we go down, the more vulnerable altcoins become. And it's really shown the vulnerability of that over the last couple of weeks, definitely. So now what we're seeing is as a potential real a real problem with a lot of these altcoins, and they can go uncomfortably low, wrecked, I would say, completely wrecked. And for me, we're talking about a market dictated at this point right now by Bitcoin, and so I'm only really focused on buying Bitcoin. There's a few other altcoins that I won't mention that I have been buying bits of, and that, I've got reasons for that. But generally, the market right now has been dictated by the health or the lack of health of Bitcoin, and so it's all about buying Bitcoin. And I can use that Bitcoin in the future to flip over into altcoins when they are significantly oversold, just like what we did in January, and we destroyed the market to the tune of 10x, 20x or more. I do it all over again and turn however many Bitcoins I have into however many more I can accumulate through using altcoins for their, I suppose for their true purpose, which is, I suppose, flipping Bitcoins, multiplying Bitcoins. At the moment, I would leave every altcoin alone unless you have a very, very good reason for buying it. And there's plenty of reasons to buy it. They're all on sale too. But not all altcoins are created equal, as we all know. And so generally, as a rule of thumb, I would be very hesitant to get involved in altcoins while the market looks this way and while Bitcoin hasn't even put in a bottom. Anyway, I am going to leave it with you there, but I will see you this evening on the live stream. And if you want to become a Patreon user, there is a link in the description below. It's £7.50 a month. You get two live streams a week, and a few other little perks. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.